Hi! Oh, I usually don't do the beginning of the video with the finished look, but this is the finished look. Now, first of all, if I've caught your attention and you have no interest in Final Fantasy VII, don't go away. Just stay here for a second, okay? If you like me and you like my channel, something you gotta know about me is I love Final Fantasy. It's one of the things I love most in this world. It is one of the things that has just made me who I am today, especially Final Fantasy VII. It is my favorite story, my favorite game of all time, and it means a great deal to me, and I would love to share that with you. So if you're watching this video and maybe you don't have too much interest in Final Fantasy, I just want to talk a little bit about my favorite character and kind of like the story points and do makeup. So if you would have clicked away otherwise, just stay tuned and let's just hang out. I just want to share something that means a lot to me, okay? So just stay there, okay? Okay. Dude, this chair, you see this leg? It's like, you know, and it's like, comes out too. Okay, just put it right there and just see what happens. It has been officially 3 weeks in quarantine and I'm losing my mind just a little bit. It's a dark and stormy day out in Los Angeles and I feel like I can't quite wake up today. I'm feeling a little tired, a little groggy, but I wanted to do something with my day. So there's 4 days left until Final Fantasy VII Remake releases in the US. We all know that a lot of people are getting their game early because Square Enix shipped the games out a little early to people in like Australia who might get it later because of COVID-19. That's nice. And first of all, I want to say thank you to all the fans who have gotten their game, played through it, and have not posted anything about it. No spoilers, no screen caps, nothing. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That makes me really proud of the Final Fantasy fan base and how considerate that we are to each other. It's not to say there's not some bad eggs out there, but whatever. Okay, so what I figured I wanted to do with my day is I wanted to do a Sephiroth inspired makeup tutorial. Now, if you're one of the people who don't really know anything about Final Fantasy yet, that's okay. I'll walk you through his backstory, we'll talk about him, and all the things that I love about him, and just do some chatty makeup stuff. Oh, I need coffee. Well, I guess we can get started with the eyes. We'll do an eye primer. Now, I have some, I mean, you can't really see, but I have some dark circles under my eyes, much like Sephiroth had after spending 3 days awake in the Shinra Mansion researching his backstory and how he came to be in the Shinra Mansion laboratory. Okay, balancing talking and makeup is gonna be a thing. Okay, so where to begin? Now, his overall theme, he wears a lot of black, right? So we're gonna focus on some black makeup today. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a liquid lipstick. Hang on. Ooh, we got lots to play with. But do I wanna do that first? See, I don't quite have a plan of how I want it to look. I have an idea of some of the products that I want to use, and we're gonna use that. Black, sure. Silver, sure. I don't really want to use silver. There's a little bit of like purple to his hair, just like a little bit, at least in the original artwork. There was this one, right, from the capsule collection, so we'll start with that as a base and just see what happens. So we'll get a fluffy brush. This is 226 from MAC. You could find anything like this. It's a fluffy brush that's tapered to a tip, so it fits in your crease real nice. It's real good. Okay, so I'm going into this color, which is Baby Doll. So I'm gonna pop this right into the crease. See, I feel like this is a pretty good like color that could complement his hair, because obviously I'm not gonna do like a wig today. I'm just gonna do some dark boy, evil villain makeup. And it's just gonna be inspired by him, and that's what we're gonna do today. So, Sephiroth. He is arguably one of the best villains of the video game world. He's got a pretty cool backstory, which I can go over. See, I debate on like going over his backstory because one, I don't want to spoil it for like people who are playing it for the first time, but you know, it might give like a little bit of insight to people who are like thinking about playing it, who never got to play the original. We know the remake is gonna be like its own thing. So, ooh, that actually looks really good. God, these colors from Sugar Pill are just so saturated and I love it. So I'm gonna bring this all the way across. crease. I'm using the tip of the brush and just kind of pulling this back and forth and kind of feathering it up and out. We'll do like a little extra right up here. Kind of using the side of the brush and patting it down. You can always use your fluffy brushes as like a packing brush. It can definitely work as both. It just depends on how you use the tool. So yeah, let's go over the Sephiroth backstory. So Sephiroth is a soldier. He's the soldier. What is soldier, you ask? Well, there's this company called Shinra, who's basically like a government, you know, but they're an electric company, but they basically profit off of draining the life force out of the planet, much like, you know, what's going on today. This whole story is very relevant to like what's happening today. So basically Shinra converts Mako or Mako into materia and like electricity for people to use. But Mako is actually like literally the life force of the planet. So the planet is literally dying because Shinra is doing this. So that's kind of where like Cloud and the rest of the crew come in, because they originally set out to save the planet from Shinra. But then Sephiroth shows up. So when you start playing the game, technically Sephiroth has been dead for about 5 years. And like I said, he was like the soldier. He was like the war general who was like very, very famous. He had like single-handedly kind of like ended a really big war in Wutai. And he was very famous. Like he was like somebody that everybody looked up to. Like he was loved, adored, pretty much had everything, or so you think. So yeah, like I said, he had been dead for about 5 years, and Cloud reveals that what had happened was, I'm gonna grab that lipstick now and put on like some black on the lid. So Cloud reveals that he was also in Soldier with Sephiroth. Cloud was like in first class Soldier. And okay, so this one is, oh, this is so perfect. Sleepwalker by Black Moon Cosmetics. This is a perfect time to talk about when Sephiroth kind of lost his damn mind. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on a palette. Okay, so Cloud went on a mission with Sephiroth 5 years ago, and it was his first mission with Sephiroth, and he was like super stoked. Like he really looked up to Sephiroth and wanted to be just like him, and that's pretty much the reason why he joined Soldier in the first place. So they're on this mission. It just happens to be in Cloud's hometown called Nibelheim. So they basically came there because monsters were showing up at an old Mako reactor, so they were just there to investigate. So while they're there, there's a mansion for Shinra, and then underneath the mansion there's like a laboratory and a library with all their like old documents. So they're checking out the Mako reactor, and Sephiroth kind of like opens up to Cloud a little bit, and he's like, wow, this is your hometown, that's so cool. I've never had a hometown, like I don't really have a family, and my mom died giving birth to me, and all I know is her name, and her name's Jenova. And then Cloud's like, huh, that's funny, isn't it weird that like your mom's name is right there in the marquee of this monster factory? And Sephiroth's like, what? Basically a door that says Jenova. And Sephiroth kind of starts putting 2 and 2 together and started kind of like figuring out what's going on, and he's got like an inkling that like something's not right. And so what he ends up doing is he goes to the Shinra mansion and locks himself in the laboratory and basically just reads all of the different books and everything that's left in there from the researchers that had done experiments there in the past. And basically he finds out that Jenova is actually an alien that had fallen from the sky. And what they thought was that she was a Cetra, and basically a Cetra is like the original natives of the planet who could like communicate with the planet, like literally talk with the planet. And this race had gone extinct for like an unknown reason, right? Plot twist, Jenova wasn't a Cetra, she's actually just an evil fucking alien that fell from the sky, and she's the reason why the Cetra went extinct. So Sephiroth thinks he's a Cetra, but he's wrong. So basically what had happened was when Sephiroth was a little baby, in his real mother's womb, they injected him with Jenova cells in hopes that there would be a human who could have the same power as the Cetra to be able to communicate with the planet, and then also lead them to what was called the Promised Land, which is what Shinra is like obsessed with. They think that there's like a Promised Land somewhere with like an endless amount of Mako that they can profit from. So basically, Sephiroth's born and he's manipulated his entire life into basically helping Shinra. He becomes like the ultimate killing machine and basically kind of like a dog for Shinra to use. So Sephiroth finds all this out and he fucking goes crazy. He loses his mind. And mind you, like, by the time he's like read the end of like what had been done to him as like a fetus, he's been awake for 3 days straight. And he literally like goes crazy. So Cloud like finally confronts him and finds him just like totally out of his mind in the Shinra basement, just like fuming angry. And Sephiroth kind of reveals like what he had found out and how he's really upset. And basically he kind of vows to end all human life. And Cloud's like, hey, like maybe you should take a deep breath and calm down. And Sephiroth is like, nah, dude, I'm gonna go see my mother. And so Sephiroth storms off. He goes back to the Mako reactor in the Nibelheim Mountain. And on the way, he sets the town on fire, pretty much killing everybody, including Cloud's mom. V sad. Big sad. So as he goes up there, he also kills Tifa's dad. And basically just fucks shit up. Because he's angry and he's hurt, and rightfully so. I would be hurt too. Okay, hang on. I gotta stop talking while I'm doing this. My boyfriend just got home from the bakery. I can hear his loud, heavy metal music coming from his car. That looks a little uneven. Okay, I need to fix this. A little more on this side, I think. Okay, I'm gonna pack a little bit more on there. Okay, I think I'm gonna take this out into a wing. So I'm kind of going like right on top of my crease right here. Because you can't do a Sephiroth makeup tutorial without a wing. It's so hard to kind of control the liquid lipstick, to be honest. I think I need something smaller to kind of blend this out. There's this guy. On with the story. So Cloud follows Sephiroth and his like trail of destruction back to the Mako reactor, where he has broken into Jenova's like holding chamber and is basically going to take the corpse of Jenova and go find the Promised Land. So that's where Cloud confronts him and actually ends up killing him, which isn't that easy. Cloud ends up getting stabbed himself, so you don't really see too much of it, and Cloud like doesn't really go over it, but like you'll find out later there's a lot of like holes in his story of things that he doesn't remember or is remembering things incorrectly, but that's kind of the base of like what happened there. So 5 years later, we join our heroes and they discover that Sephiroth is not dead, and he is kind of like suddenly just shows up and murders the president of Shinra, like out of nowhere. So Cloud's like really confused and he's like, is he still alive? Like, this can't be. Like, I killed him. I know, I was there. And so the game starts with this kind of like pursuit of Sephiroth. And they chase him all over the planet. And I don't know how further I want to get into this because I don't want to spoil it for like people who haven't played it, but I also don't know how true it's going to be to the original, and I'm guessing it's going to be pretty true because like so far all the trailers and everything that they've shown has been pretty dead on, aside of like small little things that they've added to the lore, which I think is great. Okay, I think I need to pause and do my brows really fast, and I'm just gonna do regular old Kelly brows because Sephiroth's brows are pretty thin anyway. Like, they're not really prominent or anything. They're just like gray, thin brows. He doesn't have those like angry Vegeta tsundere brows, but that's definitely like his character archetype. I should probably show you what I'm using. I'm using the Dip Brow in Taupe. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is dried up because I've had this forever, and your girl is running pretty low on all her essential makeups. But you know what? We're just gonna make it work. Yeah. I feel like this looks sinister enough without doing like a really heavy brow. So, fun fact, when I played Final Fantasy for the first time, I was 12 years old, and I bought the game with nickels and dimes that I had saved up from like lunch money and stuff like that. Like something my sister and I used to do as kids is if our dad gave us money for lunch, we would actually just like save it and not eat so we could like buy something cool. So yeah, I had like a bunch of nickels and dimes in a plastic bag. And Sam's dad, Sam is my childhood best friend. Like, we've been best friends since we were 11? That's 7th grade? Yes, 7th grade. And her dad used to, like, take us to the mall or, like, Sam Goody or something, like, every once in a while. And one time we went to, I think it was, like, a Sam Goody. It was, like, one of those giant stores that is kind of like Best Buy, where it's just filled with, like, CDs and like games and action figures and like other modern media kind of things, but it was mainly like a CD store, and it obviously no longer exists because the times have changed. And I had already played Final Fantasy VIII, loved it, I was obsessed, and I found Final Fantasy VII in the like the game section. And I knew nothing about it. There was like no real internet back then, so I had no way of knowing what it was about at all. And I was really on the fence on if I wanted to buy it or not, because I was a poor kid. So I ended up buying it because the image on the back, there's an image of, it's from the scene where Sephiroth takes off. There's like a shell over Genova's corpse, and it looks like a woman, so it's like a kind of like a metallic like cover, sort of like a sarcophagus, I guess, and it's him like pulling it off. And I remember seeing that on the game, just the back of Sephiroth, and I just felt like really intrigued and wanted to know what was happening in that scene. So that's why I bought it. I remember when I bought it, I actually didn't have enough, and the cashier, she was a really nice lady, ended up pulling out like $1.50 out of her own purse, so I had enough to buy it. It was really, really sweet. So, anyway, that's the story of how I bought Final Fantasy VII for the first time, and it completely changed my life. And oftentimes I think back to that moment when I bought it, like, because I had buyer's anxiety really bad just because I grew up as like a poor kid. And I almost didn't buy it just because I always felt guilty every time I bought something. You know what I mean? Buyer's remorse, I think they call that. And I almost didn't buy it, and I just think about that so much, and it gives me anxiety because like I would have missed out on one of the most important things in my life that has like really shaped who I am and like the friends that I make and the things that I love. It's like such a huge passion for me, and I almost missed out on it. And that gives me anxiety. I'm just gonna tickle this into my lash line. I don't really know if I want to do it in the waterline yet. I don't want a lot of it. Like, I don't want this to be too heavy with the black, even though it is already, but cut me some slack. Okay, I think that's like about where I want it to be. And I think I want to go in with this small guy or like another pointed flat brush. No, maybe I'll go in with this guy, and I just want to blur this out a little bit more. Like, I want it to be a little bit more smoky, a little bit more like hazy and broody and kind of like dead looking, because that was definitely like his signature look, and I loved that kind of like art style that people did with him. Like, his eyes are like really kind of like the artwork of him when he's walking through the fire of Nibelheim. Like, he looks so demented and broken and evil, like he just snapped. And I love what they did with the remake. Like, he really looks like that. Like, he's just so on edge and just, well, I guess over the edge. But yeah, that artwork was just so stunning and so impactful, and I think they did a really good job with that. And I believe, so like this remake is broken up into what I believe is going to be like 4 different, like they're breaking the story up into 4 different games, which I think is great because we're gonna get a lot of content, and that's awesome. So the first game that we're getting is going to be just Midgar, but I'm pretty sure it's going to end right when they escape Midgar and they go to Calm, and Cloud tells his story of like how he knows Sephiroth and everything that happened, because we've seen like different clips from that scene. So I'm pretty sure it's going to end after like Cloud kills Sephiroth in the past, 5 years ago, kind of. I'm being vague. I'm trying to be vague because I don't want to give away too much, because I know there's a lot of people who watch my channel who like haven't really played it, who might be thinking about it, and I really hope that you do. And I haven't played it yet. I haven't played the remake, but I just hope that you'll give it a shot. I've seen a lot of people giving it like 10 out of 10 stars. I think GameSpot gave it 10 out of 10, which is like, that's a big deal, especially for a Square Enix game, because I feel like they haven't been doing a great job of like really pleasing their fans lately. Half of that is because this fan base is like really hard to please anyway, and like, let's be honest, just a little snooty, and I feel like we could be better in the community about that. And then other than that, like just like different things like with history, with what's been going on, like in the corporate side of things have been kind of difficult or challenging. I'm just kind of covering these seams because I don't know what to do. I think I want to grab, ooh, there's this pink right here. And like, you might be like, oh, there's no pink in Sephiroth. Like, that's not part of his thing. But like, I'm thinking about when he snapped. I'm thinking about like when he like found out the truth that he had been lied to his entire life and just went off the edge. And I'm thinking about when he did his march through Nibelheim and set everything on fire. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm basically going for a glam Sephiroth has lost his damn marbles makeup look. So just bear with me on that. That's what I'm going for. Just scary sad boy. Okay, there's pink on the inner corner. I think that's good. I kind of want to dip into one of these, maybe both. Let's just do both. Just to get like a little bit of warmth back in here, I'm gonna do these two guys on the side. I just want like a little warmth, just a little bit. Pull that back out into a wing. Kind of feather this down here so it's not too harsh. So one of the things that I really loved about this game is Sephiroth was really scary. Like when you start playing the game, you kind of like hear his name being spoken, and again, like he had been dead for 5 years up until this point. So you hear his name being mentioned a couple times here and there, and you don't really know much about him, but you know he's someone to be feared. And like once you start interacting, or you don't really interact with him, but like you kind of get this sense that he's like following you, or like he's almost like an omnipotent kind of like always watching presence, and like it's scary. And that was like really cool to experience playing a video game, is actually being scared of the villain and kind of like slowly finding out who this person was and what they mean to the main character, and like basically kind of slowly figuring out like who you're up against. I thought was really cool. There's a scene when you basically try to infiltrate Shinra headquarters, and you get caught and you get thrown into the jail and you feel really hopeless, and Cloud and everybody goes to sleep and they wake up and like his jail cell is open for some reason, and he goes outside and finds the guard just dead on the floor, and he's like, what the hell just happened? And there's just like a trail of blood going all the way to the top of the tower that you follow, and it's just such a like very like spooky, ominous kind of like scene that you go through. And basically you follow that trail all the way to the top until you find the president dead with Sephiroth's sword in his back, and that's kind of the moment that you realize like, oh shit, Sephiroth is still alive. And it's so cool, and I cannot wait to re-experience that. All right, so here's where we're gonna pause. We have this glitter. This is old glitter. This is from Lime Crime, but hang on, I have to get their glitter helper. This is all I have left. This is old and probably expired, but we're gonna use it anyway. Okay, now you can see I'm waking up a little bit. Kelly's coming back to life. Kelly's talking about one of the things she's most passionate about in this world. Only 4 days until the remake comes out. I cannot wait. I'm a little nervous. And I was like telling Stefan that story that I just told you about when I first bought it, and like how young I was, and like how I almost didn't buy it and it gives me anxiety. And he was like, why? Like the moment's passed, don't be anxious about it. But it's like crazy to be, I'm 30 now, right? And like to be this age with that much time passed, about to buy this game for the second time with a new experience, like it's so, I just can't even like explain how like strange it feels, because this game like means so much to me. It's very emotional. Like, it's a very, like, deeply meaningful time in my life. And it's so weird that this game is coming out during a weird pandemic. I keep telling Stefan, like, it's so weird that we're living through this, you know, that we get to experience this crazy pandemic and, like, how it's, like, basically putting everybody's life on hold. Wow, yeah, this glitter was a good choice. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Peggy Hill. This was a great choice. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know, nothing says I'm glamorous but still dangerous like some black glitter. And that's what we're going for our Sephiroth tutorial. So yeah, anyway, about to buy the remake. 4 days to go, and I'm very, very excited to play this. Very, very excited. Like, I've been keeping up with all the news, I've been keeping up with all the trailers, and it's just profound. Like, it's a deeply profound experience, and I'm glad that we have this, and I'm glad to be excited about something and have something to look forward to. And I feel very lucky and very fortunate that I get to experience something in a brand new way for the second time. You know what I mean? And I think it's cool. It's great. And I'm really glad that so many people get to experience it for the first time who didn't play the game at first. I'm so glad that there's going to be new fans, and hopefully I get to talk with a lot more of you about this game because it's my favorite thing to talk about. Okay, oh, look at that. Look how dang pretty that is. We're gonna just come in a little bit closer. Okay, cool. I feel great about that. I do want to add a little bit more of the periwinkle. Now I think I need something a little bit sharper to go in. Let's use this. It's a concealer brush, but whatever, we'll use it. We'll go back into that periwinkle. I just want to add a little bit more. I want it to be like super impactful. Yeah, like super saturated. All the way across. Yes, 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 yes. That is exactly what I wanted. I love Sugar Pill products. Speaking of like products and makeup and Final Fantasy, I have been wishing for a really long time that Square Enix would come out with a Final Fantasy makeup line. Limited edition cosmetic Final Fantasy line would be great. Like, look at these. These are perfumes based off of Cloud and Sephiroth, and I got these at the Square Enix cafe in Japan. They were 70 bucks each, but they're great. So look at that. Look, they have like their symbol on it. They have like a little charm. So the Cloud perfume smells a little bit more like jasmine, like flowers. It's very fresh. It's very like still mature. Sephiroth just smells like he's been lied to and manipulated his entire life. And it smells sexy. Oh, I love this smell. Like it's not, I know I have like a biased opinion, but this smells so freaking good. I think there's like blood orange in there, but it smells very like deeply sexy. Like it smells like what he would smell like. It smells so good. Okay, maybe I'll just pop on my lashes and then we'll kind of like jump into skin. I really didn't think the eyes were going to like be this fast. Usually I spend quite a bit of time on the eyes. So I have these lashes kind of sitting to the side. Let's see how these look. Yeah, these are fine. I don't really want to put mascara on because you can't really tell anyway, you know? Screw it. Okay. I don't know where these lashes came from. I think they are Black Moon Cosmetics, which is a cruelty-free company, so I think these are synthetic, but I could be wrong, and I'm really sorry, but I don't know the name of these. Ah! I'm being a bad influencer. I'm sorry. I'm just using what I have left here, and I'm kind of running on fumes at this point. Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay, that looks good to me. We're gonna go ahead and move back to skin. Now, if you looked at any of my other makeup tutorials recently, I'm like running low on everything. Like all I have is this MAC concealer. I have a little bit of this Face and Body, which doesn't, like, I like that foundation, but it does not look good on camera in my personal opinion. So I think I just might use the MAC foundation and just use my fingers. So wish me luck. But if we're doing a Sephiroth tutorial, we might as well have something that's super pale, so I need some sort of like highlight or something. I mean, this is working to kind of like dull me down and kind of wash me out. I just want to tell you more about the game and more about the story. The other thing that you can do is Do you guys know who Team 4-Star is? They did the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series, which is so funny. But they ended up doing a Final Fantasy VII Abridged. It's called Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged, and oh my god, I love this series so much. Like, I watch it all the time. They started doing it years ago, and like, it's really, really well done. It's definitely like a little bit different than what they normally do, but oh my god, it's so well done. The voice acting is great, like the little animations they do, the kind of like twists, not even twists, but like the way they like complement the story is so good. So if you want like a little intro onto what the original game was and like have fun along the way without like putting in 100 hours into the original game, like this is a great thing for you to watch. This is something that like I always have it on my iPhone and just play it while I'm doing my makeup, or like if I'm painting or something like that. Like, I love having it on. I know it word by word, like I know it by heart. And my boyfriend kind of started watching over my shoulder, and he's really into it, so now we're binge watching it now, which I'm really excited about. Like, it's so cool to have something there to, like, as a resource of, like, the actual story of this game that I'm obsessed with, and I'm really excited that he's, like, starting to get excited about it, and this is just a great time to be alive, is what I'm trying to say. It's a great time for Final Fantasy fans, and I feel like it's a wonderful time for us to rejoice and come together and celebrate this thing that we have loved for so long. Anyway, so yeah, Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged by Team 4-Star. Highly recommend it. One of my favorite things about it is the voice actor Antfish really takes Barrett's character and brings him to life. Like, that character really, really shines in that series, which is great because, like, he's a cool character. He's one of the main characters in Final Fantasy VII, but he doesn't, like, stand out as much, you know? But, like, Antfish just makes Barrett, like, glisten and glitter. He's just the best character in the series. He's just wonderful. And I know you're gonna love him. In the game, he's a little, like, he's very, like, no nonsense. Very, very serious. But in the series, he's definitely the opposite of that. He's, like, no nonsense, but, like, in a very Mary Poppins funny way. I don't know why I just said Mary Poppins, because she's kind of no nonsense, too, but, like, he's just the best. All right, let's do a lipstick. So, like, I was thinking about black, but black could be too much. I was thinking about nude because I like the fact that we're going with a big contrast of, like, these kind of, like, very impactful eyes and that kind of dead pasty lip, which is something I always do. I love a pasty dead nude lip. But do I want to mix it up? I do have gray too, but I don't want to go over the top with it. Let's just try it. Let me just finish the skin. Let me just finish the skin before I do this. But then what if I mess it up and then I mess my skin up? Okay, well, either way, we need to go in. I have these, like, foundation sticks from Anastasia Beverly Hills that I never use. But this one's a pretty bright one, so I'm just gonna use my finger here. And I'll pop it on. See, there's a good highlight. We can make this even more, like, pale and pasty, like I've been up for 3 days straight reading up on my backstory in a laboratory. There's contour in here that I'm interested in. This is, where is it? Where is it? This one's called Fawn, and it looks like, yeah, I could do, like, who am I to do a makeup tutorial inspired by Sephiroth if I'm not gonna do a shady ass contour, you know? And I'll do it under here too. I don't even need it, but we're gonna do it anyway. And we'll do up here too. So why not? We can do whatever we want in the world of Final Fantasy. Okay, I need something to blend this together. What do I use? This? Here's a brush. Yeah, let's just see what happens with this. Oh, that works. Okay, cool. Now I'm reminded of how much I love doing contours with creams. It looks so much better. Especially if you have, like, really dry skin like your girl here. Cream contours are a good way to go, you know? But then, like, wearability is a different thing. Because after, like, an hour and a half, your face is just all over the place. You know what I mean? Kind of just slides down onto your neck and drips on the floor. But then again, my skin is super oily and it's super dry. Sephiroth! Finding hints that the quarantine is making me go crazy. Oh, but this is looking real good. Ooh. I like how glowy my skin is looking with this foundation. I wish it would stay like that and not just slide all over the place. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, I know we're doing like a pale pasty boy, but I feel like we should just have a little blush. And when I'm talking blush, I mean like I'm gonna do a little hint of like a slightly darker than my skin type of deal. So we'll go in just with a little bit of this, a little bit of this. And we'll just warm it up just a little bit. Okay, I've got to put powder down. Like I'm resisting it because I like the dewy fresh glow, but I know it's gonna start like sliding all over the place if I don't set it down with something. So where is it? I'm using this stuff, the Ben Nye, I called it Bill Nye last time. Woo! Makeup powder. Okay. Yeah, just stamp that in place. Right, yeah, I gotta do a nude lipstick. I'm sorry. I gotta stick with my gut here. This one's called Marshmallow. Let's try this, and hopefully it's not going... Ooh, I barely have any left. Alright, I feel like we need a highlight. We need some sort of, like, blue pasty pale highlight, right? There's this one from Black Moon Cosmetics. It's called Jellyfish that I think would be good. This guy right here. So let's take this. It's a duo fiber, which is actually, I think, both synthetic. So we'll take a little bit of this, and we'll kind of feather it down. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. We want, like, a moonlight skin boy. One of the other notable things to talk about on the subject of Sephiroth is his theme song. It's a very, very popular theme song, especially within Final Fantasy. Like, if you ever go to one of the Final Fantasy orchestras, like, this is their finale song. It's always the last song that they play and everybody sings along. And it's called One Winged Angel. And there's like... So, like, when the game first came out, there wasn't, like, too much about him having one wing aside of, like, his literal final form. And, like, it was kind of, like, barely noticeable, but the song was just called One Winged Angel, like, as more of, like, a conceptual thing. But because it became so popular, when Kingdom Hearts came out, they designed his character to have one wing, and it just, like, people went crazy, and they loved it. So it became, like, a pretty big staple with this character. So, like, if you guys have played the demo of the remake... near the end of the demo, Cloud is about to set the bomb, and he kind of like loses his shit, and he has like this weird like head trauma, and he looks down and he sees a black feather floating down. That's kind of like a foreshadowing of Sephiroth and the whole one-winged angel thing, which I thought was like an interesting thing for them to add, because it wasn't ever part of like his memories of Sephiroth. It was more of like a wink nod to the fans. I don't know if Cloud would even like know what the feather means. I do feel like I want more color in my cheeks. Like, we did the contour, but I want more of like this color. There's this guy right here. I never use this. It's always like too dark for me, but I'm going to kind of like just give myself like a little color. I feel like it makes it a little bit more uniform, pulls everything together. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in with this fluffy brush right here, pick up a little bit more, and kind of shimmy it down like underneath this eye socket a little bit more. And you know what else? I'm gonna just like go up here into the inner corner of like where my brow is and pull it down around my nose, giving it just like a little bit more like structure. Because this is such an androgynous character, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't do a little bit more contour to make myself a little bit more androgynous. Hi!
Whoa!
Hi!
Look at this, babe.
Do you like it? I'm doing a makeup tutorial that's inspired by Sephiroth. Look at my boyfriend wears the Sephiroth pendant because he loves me so much.
That is black as the darkest nights. No sugar, no dairy. It's just black coffee. It took three rounds of, you know.
Are you serious?
Whatever you call it.
Let's give it a try. Did you put stevia in it?
Nothing. You want some?
Oh yeah, but that's so good.
It's good, right?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Man, that's how you know you're truly 30s. You start drinking your coffee black.
Yeah. Just sludge.
Oh, that's perfect. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just...
Whoa.
You got so upset I could have done it.
Look at what happened.
Well, because you psyched me out, son.
No, you can't pour it. Oh, good job.
Yeah,
okay.
see, you should have just trusted me. You should have just trusted me, but you psyched me out. I love you, thank you. Thank you for the coffee. That's
But,
good.
By the way.
Yeah.
Whenever you're hungry again.
Yeah.
salami out there that I got.
Oh, yeah?
And some cheese. It's like,
I love salami and cheese.
it's it's gonna be the best salami you've ever had.
Really?
I'm not joking.
I love salami. Can you buckle the back of this?
Are you gonna do a SEPHIROTH makeup tutorial with pink hair?
Shut up!
I feel like I have to like pretend like this is my waist. Here we go.
To put the belt on.
Why is this so hard? My goodness. Meanness. Ugh.
I'm just enjoying
How's
this
that?
hug. That's great.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. I feel pretty satisfied with this makeup, so I'm going to call this done. So before we sign out, I just want to remind you guys, if you guys want to catch me on Twitch and do a live streaming with me, I'm going to be streaming every Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. Now, when Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out, I'm probably going to be streaming a lot more because my goal is to hopefully stream the entire game. I've been told it takes about 30 hours to do the entire game. So if you want to see me and hang out and see me play the game, you just look up twitch.tv/KellyEdenOfficial and add me on there. The other thing I wanted to update you guys on is my Patreon got a makeover, so now it's way more simple. There's only like 4 tiers, one of which is it's really, really cute. This is my favorite. It's basically like a private Animal Crossing party, so if you have Animal Crossing, basically you'll get a private invite to my island and we'll have like a private little party where we do like musical chairs or hide and go seek for about 3 hours. And then there's the Discord where we hang out and post memes and stuff like that, also where we talk about Animal Crossing and Final Fantasy VII, and then my Patreon blog. So if you guys want to see that, that's going to be linked at the end of the video. Is there anything else to talk about before we sign out? I don't think so. So I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a wonderful day, and okay, bye-bye!